Now that was a smooth ride, but not all rides are that smooth. For me personally, I love roller coasters. I love the heights that they can go and then down to the depths and swishing from left to right and even looping the loop. The faster the better and the more surprises, just great because you can scream just because you can. Well, that's fine for a ride in an amusement park, but that's not okay for life. In life we want a smooth ride, but we do know that there are ups and downs. Like for our kids, we know as parents that our kids will have times when they are up and when then they feel down. For our little preschoolers, they can feel down when they have to suddenly learn they've got to share the very toy they want at the same time as their buddy wants it. They have to learn to take turns. And then as our kids grow older, they learn to embrace some of the downs when somebody says to you, I'm not going to be your friend, I don't want to play with you anymore. And as they get even older still, they realise that people who they trusted have let them down. Sometimes intentionally, other times just by accident. But people are human and we all make mistakes. We don't have to go far to see some ups and downs. We as adults know what it's like when people say things that are really mean about you. They judge you and criticise you, and sometimes they don't even know you and they still feel that they have the liberty to do that. That's just life. That brings the ups and downs. We don't have to go far before we read in the newspaper some of the ups and downs that people have in their own lives. What about for your kids when their favourite pet dies? Or maybe when a grandparent gets unwell. That all brings stress and the pressure within the family, but we can help our kids understand they can still have faith in these times. Joseph was a great example of this. He had many ups and downs. He'd been misunderstood by his own brothers, sold into slavery, given responsibility, put into prison. It was up and down like this, but the one thing that didn't change was his faith in God. See, he could trust in what he couldn't see because of what he could see. He knew that God had a plan and purpose for his life, so that's what he hung on to. As families, we're helping each other learn about faith. We need to remind each other that God is with us, whether it is a time of good times or whether we're going through tough times. So what about you right now in your family? It may be as a whole family you're facing something that's very difficult. Or it may be an individual going through a tough time and somebody else is celebrating. We need to be able to wrap our faith stories around both so that we know that God is with us no matter what. So let's keep faith in our conversation this week. Now here's a game you could play. Why don't you get a few objects out and lay them on the table? Talk about each object, and then you can either turn the lights off if it's dark, or you could cover them over and then try and remember the items that were on the table. So what we've seen in the light helps us to remember what we can't see when it's dark. You see, that's our life skill for us, to be able to remember those things that God has done for us when we have been on the upside, the celebration side. So when we go into those tough times, we know that we can trust the same God to be with us who was with us in the times of celebration. That gives us hope, that gives us direction, and that gives us encouragement to live by faith. That's trusting in what we can't see because of what we can see. Maybe this has reminded you about a story you could record in your family faith journal. Remember, write it down, draw it out, capture it on video, any which way you can, and let us have a look and see how we as a whole church are developing our faith stories.